that we enforce the 72-hour period of disposal of our deceased persons and to ensure that licensed funeral homes adhere to these guidelines. One of the reasons why this is so critical is because as people, if we have people staying in hospitals for too long before disposal, what is happening is that then people start funeral meetings, and in those funeral meetings we are experiencing increased transmissions. So we urge that within 72 hours we try funeral meetings. We are experiencing increased transmissions. So we urge that within 72 hours we try funeral meetings. We are experiencing increased transmissions. So we urge that within 72 hours we try funeral meetings. We are experiencing increased transmissions. So we urge that within 72 hours we try funeral meetings. We are experiencing increased transmissions. So we urge that within 72 hours we protocols, then we will be going to bury our loved ones and then follow with more funerals of the same people from the same families, as has been evidenced in some of the cases that we are now dealing with. So, ladies and gentlemen, the main issue today was to deal with the situation as we see it, to emphasize some of the measures that are already there, but also to warn that we cannot hesitate to take even further measures if we see that the adherence to the measures that we are taking are low. Of importance is also the emphasis on the stoppage of gatherings, even those of a political nature. And I want to emphasize here again that we want to be part of the solution, and we are asking those in politics, those practicing political meetings, to be part of the solution instead of creating epicenters of spreading of the disease. So I want to pause there for a minute and ask the IG to weigh in on this issue as I come back with some of the other figures that exist that we have today. Let him sanitize.
Thank you, CS. Mine is directions and instructions, which I want to give today to all the commanders and police officers of National Police Service across the country on 2 directions and instructions. All the protocols, CS Mutai Kagwe has highlighted them. The National Police Service is to enforce that all these protocols are complied. And in that regard, I give instructions to all officers of the National Police Service with effect from today that all those protocols to be enforced and measures stepped up. We will take responsibility. Secondly, I'm asking all the members of public to cooperate with the police. You keep yourself safe, and I promise and assure you that you have no problem with police. Be in the right place at the right time. During the curfew, I would urge all the members of public to stay at home. I have no other new instruction I'm giving, because my simple job is to enforce there is no public gathering, political rallies. We are not going to have discussion of these matters. Officers take instruction on this, including the commanders. Those meetings have already been prohibited. Ours is to ensure that no such gatherings which endangers the life of the other citizens. You play your part as members of public. The officers of National Police Service will also be able to cooperate with you. When you don't cooperate, we will use all measures to ensure that you are going to cooperate. All the protocols have been stipulated, highlighted. The members of National Police Service is to enforce them. And I give direction to all commanders to ensure compliance of all those protocols. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much, IG. I think that the only other thing to emphasize as I conclude is that is to appeal to Kenyans that the reason why we are doing these things is now evident. A while back, we did tell Kenyans that it is important for us to have facilities, ICU facilities, and other facilities within the counties. Today, the Nairobi hospitals are stretched to a limit. And the truth of the matter is that if you fall sick today within this county, you are very unlikely to get a hospital bed. And it is good to call a spade instead of a big spoon, because the truth of the matter is that we are sitting between a difficult situation, we are sitting in difficult times. We are increasing the ICU capacity. We are increasing the ICU capacity in KU, in Kenyatta National Hospital. I am aware that Nairobi Hospital is also increasing its ICU capacity by some 20 beds. We are increasing by some 28 beds at KU. But the truth of the matter is that unless we can contain it at this level, unless we can stop the transmission right now, then it is possible that our health system is going to be overwhelmed. And when that happens, then you have got the scenes like you see in other countries. You saw it in India, where a person dies right in front of a hospital, and there is nothing that the doctors can do. So this is not scaring people. This is more to emphasize the need for each person to protect him or herself. We need to protect ourselves. Because as I said, you cannot afford to be taken to a hospital where there is no capacity to take care of you. And as we speak, some 400, and nearly 450 patients are on oxygen. They are on oxygen, directly on oxygen. And that is not including the 175 patients who are in ICUs. And as you know, most hospitals don't have that much capacity for ICUs. We have got 1,432 patients across the country who are now hospitalized, and that is not including the nearly 4,000 who are in home-based care. And as for the home-based care people, we are also saying, just because you are being treated at home does not mean that you do not need to check with the doctors and constant supervision to ensure that you continue to be safe. There are some people who deteriorate when they are at home, so those observing them need to make sure that the minute you see a person who is on home-based care begin to cough more or to get a bit sicker, then it is important for them to be taken to hospital immediately. Our positivity rate continues to be high. Today, as you know, yesterday we had over 14%. Today, we still have over 13% in terms of positivity rate. And those are high numbers, because what you are saying is that in every 100 people, 13 people are infected. And therefore, we continue to urge our people, all Kenyans, to be careful. And when you say 13 people, that's an average. So when you take an average, it means there are some counties that are very, very low and some counties that are very, very high. The document that the media is going to be given includes the positivity rates in terms of county by county. And some counties have got a high positivity rate, particularly the county that we are currently in. So we would like to urge care, and I keep on saying, let's be part of the solution, not part of the problem. I repeat what we said in this same place sometime last year. Let's never, ever, ever think that we can treat this disease normally. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Waziri. Ladies and gentlemen, it is your turn now to ask questions. Please remember your name and the media house you represent, and keep.
That is the CS Kawe on that special brief on the COVID-19 measures. So let's just go back and give you a recap on exactly what is spoken about this afternoon, because now what we do know is that the 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew goes on for the next 30 days, even on the areas whose curfew was starting at around 7 p.m. all the way to 5 in the morning are the ones that have also now been included in this 10 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew for another 30 days. It's also talking about how they're going to make sure that the containment measures that are in place right now get adhered to, and that's what we did see that specific official who's attached to that docket address and make sure that these specific areas are going to be addressed. So he's also spoken about how they're going to make sure that counties are well equipped to fight the coronavirus pandemic in those very specific areas. Under this, we've also seen is talking about how they want to help install oxygen piping in these counties, and they want to make sure that all that now, as the country readies itself for the next 30 days to see if indeed the coronavirus infections in the country can go down. A summary and a comprehensive coverage of that briefing by CS Kawe will follow in our subsequent bulletins. Now, Japan has expanded the coronavirus state of emergency to 4 more areas in addition to Tokyo, following record spikes in infections as the capital hosts the Olympics. Prime Minister Yoshihide Suga declared an emergency in Saitama, Kanagawa and Chiba near Tokyo, as well as in the western city of Osaka, effective Monday until the end of August. Tokyo has reported a record increase in cases for 3 days in a row, including more than 3,800 on a Thursday, before logging in another 3,300 today. The cases have doubled since last week, although officials say the surge is unrelated to the Olympics. However, more Olympic-related personnel are testing positive for COVID-19. Well, that story marks the end of a Metropol News at 1. My name is Simba. Elijah Charles, can I have yourselves a lovely weekend.
Welcome to the home of beaches, luxury and entertainment. County 001, Mombasa County. Mombasa County is Kenya's second largest city after the capital Nairobi, with an estimated population of about 1.5 million people. The county is further divided into 6 sub-counties, namely Mvita, Jamvu, Changamwe, Kisauni, Nyali, and Likoni, each headed by an elected member of parliament, and further divided into 30 wards that are each headed by ward representatives. It is under the administration of Governor Ali Hassan Joho, who is deputized by Dr. William Kingi, Mohammed Faki as senator, Asha Hussain as woman representative, and Evans Achoki as county commissioner. Mombasa is a regional, cultural and economic hub with an extra-large port and an international airport. Located on the east coast of Kenya, it is an important regional tourism center and is also a second capital to most people. Strategically placed along the Indian Ocean, it has been controlled by many countries due to its historical trading center. Being a tourism destination, it contributes largely to Kenya's tourism industry, which contributed a total of 294.6 billion shillings to the country's